Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another thing where I talk about things. Today, I would like to talk about the streams. We started doing streams on YouTube. We used to do streams exclusively on Picarto, but I decided to move them over to YouTube. Because I was talking with TRY about the streaming thing, and he's been doing some streams. And he's a much larger channel. But because he's big, whenever he streams, YouTube has been promoting him. And so I'll come in there, and he'll have like 2,000 people watching simultaneously. And so we were just talking about this and about YouTube politics, talking shop about the whole thing. And I decided, maybe I'll try the daily streams on YouTube and I'll see how that goes. People enjoy it, and if they want to have me keep doing it, or if I should go back to my more reclusive little hole on Picarto, which is where I have been. The general difference between Picarto and YouTube is that Picarto was much smaller. Usually I would get 20 people in a single day of streaming, and it would be the same 20 people pretty much throughout the day, and they would watch the entire thing. It would just be like, it just raw work, like I'm just sitting there like, doing animation work, and they're just kind of watching the animation work and talking to each other or asking me questions or whatever. And, because it moves very slowly, every now and then I might look up at the chat, see what's been said, make some responses, then continue working. So much smaller, a little bit cozier. Whereas YouTube, I'm not sure how exactly their system works. It's much more interesting. At the end of every stream, I'm seeing that we get like 1,000 views, and on average, people are watching like 10 to 15 minutes per stream. So people are obviously cycling in and out quite a lot. Like I say, on average, everybody's watching for about 15 minutes before moving on. I guess just checking to see like where I am on the work or things like that. But consequently, the chat moves a lot faster. We maintain about like, between 30 and 50 people rather than, 20 or so viewers. And then like if I'm showing a Rainbow Dash Presents while I go and I prepare myself dinner, then we get like up to 70 viewers or so. And yeah, I don't know. There's definitely more viewers and everything like that. It's a little bit harder to interact with, so there's some kind of pros and cons there. It's not impossible to interact with yet. It's just that I've got two screens, and so chat's on one screen and all my work is on the other screen. And because I'm working in Toon Boom now, there's this node view, and whenever I bring that up, it obscures everything, and so so some of the time I can't see chat at all. But Yes, that's the general character difference. The reason why I started doing it though is because I was talking to Tiara, and YouTube, not only are they trying to promote their streaming service, but we were just discussing like YouTube is a very broken, backwards system that I hope one day fails, and that they have to do something else, because their current system is just unsustainable for quality content. We were discussing how, especially after I started doing this, I was talking to him a little bit, and I was like, hey, have you noticed that your streams are worth like more ad revenue than anything else that you've done like ever? And he's like, no, my streams totally pull in more ad revenue than like my actual work. So he's been doing the same thing. He's just doing work streams where he'll just sit down and he'll work for a few hours, stream himself doing the work. And it turns out that YouTube has a very funny system, and I've talked about this before. But what YouTube is looking for is they're looking for videos that are long, that are derivative, that are repetitive. They're looking for very low quality work. If you can post something 3 times a day and each video is like an hour long, they will actually promote your channel more than if you only posted like one really good, like professional quality video in a month. And it used to not be this way. Back in the day, you used to see a lot more animators on YouTube, because it used to be that view count mattered more than anything else. Like if you posted this really high quality animation or something like that, maybe once a month, maybe once every other month, it would get a lot of views, it would get a lot of likes, you'd get a lot of comments, and YouTube would look at all that and they would say, okay, yeah, this is a video that everybody enjoys. So they would promote it out to everybody, and because it was getting a lot of attention and a lot of eyes were looking at it, they would run the best ads on it. So animators used to make like a living on YouTube. It used to be possible to put real work into the animation and make a living on it just through the ad revenue. Then they changed their system, and they said that they were changing it to get rid of abuses, but currently, the new system has just as many abuses as the old system, and we're always trying to like look at YouTube and figure out how the system works and how it is that we're supposed to get noticed on the platform while still doing the kind of content that we want to do. The thing that we're really wanting to do that's been very difficult is that we want to do like original series. Like we tried this with Jim the Romantic Journey, and the catch with Jim the Romantic Journey was that we looked at this and we said, all right, like what is YouTube rewarding? They're rewarding frequent posts and they want the videos to be long. And so we said, like, okay, if we make Gym of the Romantic Journey very cheaply, maybe we could make the episodes really long. So the animation, you notice it's all like lineless animation. The characters are very simple looking. They're not very complex at all. That was so that we could actually do everything in Flash, because we were operating with Flash at that time. And so we just had like the noodle arms, and whenever we needed a new noodle arm, we just draw, just take the paintbrush, set it to a particular thickness, and just noodle arm, there it is. And so it was like, it was way faster to animate, and we were able to produce a new episode every month. And they were kind of short, but we were talking about getting people, since we have a team now, we were going to have other people come in, and we were going to have like, 15-minute episodes or whatever. It would be kind of like a spot on Adult Swim. And in fact, we actually got, for 1 month, we had a support limit that was like, if we earn this much money on Patreon per video, then we'll bring back Gym of the Romantic Journey. So we hit that, and unfortunately, the Patreon stuff, we've one of the things we promised was to bring back Lord of the Dwarves, and we had Pencils doing that comic for a little while, but unfortunately, Pencils is overworked as it is. So, I don't know, like, I still want to bring back Lord of the Dwarves, but it's been so hard to keep that comic going. For a while, I tried to Petarup took over for, like, one, and then we were like, all right, so how could you keep doing this? And Petarup was just like, no, I can't, I don't have time. Though possibly, this might suck. Maybe if I made, like, some rigs for Gym of the Romantic Journey, maybe I could pass those off. Maybe I could send those to somebody. Maybe we could do that. Maybe I could rig up something. That might be an idea. Maybe I could rig up some Lord of the Dwarves. Brags. Yeah, we're talking about that. Okay. Anyway, that's aside. That's all the Patreon stuff. So anyway, though, but Patreon has been our core source of income because of the way the system works. But we designed Gym of the Romantic Journey to try to sort of function around that. It still is. We're actually going back, and because we got that Patreon support, I started writing out new scripts and an outline for 6 episodes of Gym of the Romantic Journey. So we're kind of thinking about bringing it back and doing more with it. And we're revamping the characters a little bit because we got to design the rigs in Toon Boom. We're making them a little bit more, a little bit better looking, a little bit more, less just like less circles and noodles, a little bit more refined. And that's because Toon Boom is a little bit more flexible. Like, there are these bone tools that you can use that allow you to move the arms, and you don't have to redraw like a noodle or whatever. So you can actually have, slightly more defined looking parts on your characters, and everything will be fine. The tools are more advanced. Toon Boom, by far, feels, to me at least, a much more professional program. Norman, the guy who does the animation, he's more familiar with Flash, and so currently he's more comfortable in Flash. I only learned Flash for like a year or so before switching over to Toon Boom here. So for me, Toon Boom has been kind of like going from... It feels like a dream. Like, it doesn't crash nearly as often as Flash did. But, yeah. So we're probably going to come back with that, and we're planning on making the episodes long. But again, you get into this problem of YouTube wants content that is derivative and repetitive. And these are two things that are very important. They especially like content that is derivative, because YouTube focuses a lot on the search engine optimization, the SEO as they call it. And what that is that, like, when a Superman movie comes out, for example, everybody is looking up Superman, and they type in Superman into the search bar. And you see a lot of channels doing this, like the surviving animation channels do this. Like, I got in a group with PyTunes, and so I kind of took an interest in what he was doing, and I looked him up, and I checked out, like, when did he get successful. And he got successful essentially through, he did a Team Fortress animation, and then that got featured on, like, the Valve front page or something like that, so he got, like, a huge boost. And I'm watching, like, I looked at all his videos, and anything that was kind of, like, original, or that wasn't, like, derivative, would get, like, 1/10 of the viewership as anything that was a parody of something, like, derivative content gets, like, 10 times the viewership on YouTube as anything else. And this has always been a problem in entertainment. Like, back when Newgrounds was a thing, you used to see that people were more receptive to parodies because they liked brands that they knew, and they were also more likely to look those things up. They would go to the search bar and they would look for, like, Final Fantasy parody or Zelda parody, something like that. And they would just find that stuff organically. But the thing about Newgrounds, though, was that they had, like, the front page, and the front page would put something new on there, like, every day. You got a daily front page deal. I think every day, anyway. And it would say, like, here's a thing that everybody likes. And so Newgrounds produced a lot of original content that way. Also, they had a system where you had to submit a video, and then people had to review the video. And if you got a bunch of thumbs up, then the video went online. If you got a bunch of thumbs down, then the video would be removed, and you'd have to go back and you have to fix it up. So that system actually allowed original content to be promoted, because people would see the original content, and if enough people liked it, if people recommended it, it might get to the front page. And so Newgrounds actually produced a lot of original characters, and this was one of the things that they had as sort of a legacy, is even now you go and you look at the page, and they've got all these like old characters on it. Like I went back to Newgrounds, I was like, oh man, I remember all these old characters, like all the Clock Crew and Salad Fingers and all these old things. And it's funny because you look at that and it's sort of like it's in the past, because nowadays on YouTube it's very hard to think of like what is an original series that YouTube has helped make profitable that wasn't already big before YouTube got a hold of it. YouTube doesn't really make original series big anymore. It has to get big off-site, off-platform, and then you can host it on YouTube, but YouTube itself will not promote original content. So if you want them to promote your videos, it needs to be derivative. You need to do parodies. So we've been talking about this, and I know it seems like I've sidetracked a fair ways with this from the stream thing, but this is all important. This is all relevant. I'll get back to it. But anyway, though, so we've been talking about like we need to do more kind of like short-form videos mixed in with the original stuff that we actually want to do. Like we want to do original content, but the parodies are going to be the only thing that YouTube actively promotes for us. So derivative stuff. And like I say, YouTube is just toxic like this. I really don't like that they do this. I really would rather just produce original cartoons. But like I say, there's no real way to find original content. YouTube will not promote it. So therefore, it's kind of the only people who are going to watch the original content are people who are already following us, who are already fans, and who are people who are going to check out new stuff that we release, kind of regardless. So, which is hard. That was the thing, like we did with Jim of the Romantic Journey, and there were people who really liked it, but it was only getting like 15,000, 20,000 views or whatever, and it wasn't bringing in anyone new. And that meant that it was only going to produce the support that we already had. Like people that were already supporting us were the ones that were watching the videos, and we really need it to grow to make it sustainable. So, this is a big hurdle that we're facing. Let me see, that said, on the note of other things, we're probably going to bring back Jim the Romantic Journey. We were going to do Banana Republic, and I wrote up a bunch of scripts for Banana Republic. We did a bunch of concept work for Banana Republic. We started discussing different names for it because Banana Republic is a clothing brand, and we were talking about like copyright and trademark issues and how like we would technically be in the right because Banana Republic is a political science term, but that doesn't necessarily prevent a clothing brand from suing us if we had any modicum of success at all. We were going to maybe, like, I really like Simian Intelligent was the name that Alan pitched that I thought was really fun. But anyway, though, since we started doing that in Toon Boom, we've kind of... we looked at that, and we've had to learn Toon Boom, and we're finally kind of getting our bearings on it. I did a peel off in Toon Boom, and realized that I made some mistakes with the rigs. So now I'm going back and I'm fixing up that rig, and now I'm working on the mass rigs. And so all the mass episode is going to look essentially like the peel off episode. And you can see me working on that in the streams. You'll be able to see like what the ponies look like. Fluttershy's hair is a little too short, but I've decided to whatever. Like we're never gonna see Fluttershy anyway. It's fine. And yeah. So anyway, so yes. Derivative content. YouTube wants to promote derivative content. Long content, like I said, we already discussed. We were thinking about you got to make, if you're doing animations and you want your content to be long, it has to be affordable. It has to be cheap somehow. So like I say, Jim of the Romantic Journey, the other reason why we're going to focus more on Jim of the Romantic Journey rather than Banana Republic is because Banana Republic was far more ambitious and therefore far more expensive, and we were discussing how are we going to get funding for it, and we were like, well, we would have to do a Kickstarter, and then we were discussing like how much money realistically would we need to make long-form episodes of Banana Republic. Each episode would be like 10 to 15 minutes. How much money would we need? And it was like a great deal of money would be the realistic answer. We thought about, like, what if we did a Kickstarter just for the first episode? And what if that took off? And the thing is that we could maybe pull that off, but the plan is to make like 6 or 7 episodes. And I don't know. The financial hurdle, there's no way that YouTube on its own would produce enough of a return to be worth it. And the thing is that we could spend all that money, but we would have to somehow promote Banana Republic enough to get people really excited for it, that it had a huge audience, and it had a bunch of consistent supporters, such that it became profitable. Even if we were able to pull off the Kickstarter, if we didn't generate enough hype around it, to make it worthwhile, we wouldn't be able to keep going on it is the thing. Because again, it's an original thing. It's non-derivative. YouTube will not promote it. So that's kind of where we got locked into. Then finally, repetitive content. And this is the thing that kills us the most. Since we're focusing primarily on animation, repetitive content is essentially impossible. You look at like Game Grumps and they'll post, 2 videos a day, 3 videos a day. PewDiePie posting like, multiple videos every day of him just like talking or doing stupid stuff, and like his editors just like edit. I'm watching the top YouTubers, and a lot of them, they're just doing very trite, very simple things. Like there are these people who make like gelatin molds, and they could make like a new gelatin mold every day, or they're playing with Orbeez, or they play with toys, and they just film themselves playing with toys, or it's like a podcast sort of deal, and like there's just this really obnoxious editing to like try and make it all kind of more bearable. But it's like, but they'll be on YouTube drama or something like that. Like it's a vlog about YouTube drama. So they're just basically gossiping about other people like every single episode, and they post a new episode every single day where they just talk smack on somebody, and it's like a, it's just a running stream of consciousness, like just smack talking, run a stream of consciousness, and it's just awful. But they can do it multiple times a day or every day. And a lot of the big reaction channels, same deal. They would just be finding other people's content and they would watch it. And there's enough content out there that they could do that. They could post like 3 videos a day, and then YouTube would pay them, hundreds of thousands of dollars over a course of a year for doing this, because they were just posting repetitive content. And what YouTube wants is repetitive content. But like I say, us trying to do repetitive content with animation is impossible. We can't do it. And I knew all these things in the past, and I talked about this a bit, and I was doing that Fallout 4 Let's Play for a while, which eventually I just got, I don't know, I don't feel good about doing those, because not a lot of people were watching them. They were getting about 2,000 hits per view, and this was weird. Maybe if I'd kept doing it, like, it would be hard to compare and really see the difference. But as I was posting those, I noticed that my subscriber count was kind of declining, and viewership was sort of going down. And then when I started posting those things on pretty much a daily basis, subscriber count went up. And nobody was really watching the videos, but I get the feeling that maybe my whole channel was getting promoted more. Because nothing was happening at the time that was justifying a rise in subscribers and viewership. Like I wasn't really seeing... Like, I hadn't posted a new episode of Mass or anything like that, which is usually a cause for a spike. I wasn't doing anything special. I was just posting more videos, is all I was doing. Like, every day I was just posting a video, and I was watching the numbers on my channel just broadly increase. So that was a weird thing. Like I say, it could have just been a fluke, because I only did it for about a month or so. But during that month, that was the trend that I observed, and had I kept doing it, maybe it would have proved not to be superstition, because everyone has been saying that that's how YouTube works. But like I say, I got sick of doing it because I didn't really enjoy doing it. I felt like it was just exploiting the system. I didn't feel like people were really watching it. I mean, I know you guys that were watching it, kind of enjoy it. You like to see that stuff. Personal time is sort of the same way. We got a lot of people that just like they like to hear my voice. I hear people tell me that sometimes they just turn me on and then go to sleep, which I think is amusing, or they just use me as background, and that's fine. Like, there's a lot of different reasons for people to watch that stuff and kind of enjoy it, or maybe if you just really like Fallout 4. But for me, it felt like it was just too... Like, it was too... I don't know, I was just trying to exploit the system, and it didn't really... I just didn't want to, I don't know, I just wasn't enjoying it. Just wasn't really enjoying it. I'd rather be doing more challenging work and stuff that, requires more scripting and planning, and it's more entertaining, And part of this is why the Let's Play thing has gotten so big. Of course, you also realize, or you may also have heard, Let's Plays are often long, they're often repetitive. Like I say, this is why Game Grumps just does a bunch of different Game Grumps episodes, and those guys are pulling 6 figures on just that content. So yeah, so there are a few animation channels that can pull this off, but they have millions of subscribers in the first place. And like I said, I was looking at PyTunes, and everything that they do is derivative. So most channels on YouTube, most animation channels on YouTube that are doing very well, produce a lot of derivative content. They produce very little, they don't really produce a lot of original content. And it may not be, I mean, they probably have the capacity to do original content and be funny and be interesting, but they just wouldn't thrive on the YouTube platform. YouTube would just let their channel die. They would never promote anything that they do. So, yeah. So these are the basic hurdles that are facing us trying to do anything on YouTube aside from just parodies. And, yeah, I was talking with Tiara, and it turns out that one thing that meets pretty much all of those criteria is streaming yourself working on derivative content on YouTube. And this has been interesting. Since I've started doing the streams, I've been keeping an eye on the analytics, and every single day, my most profitable thing in terms of YouTube ad revenue has been an unscripted, boring work stream that normally would have only attracted like 20 people on Picardo, because there's really not that much to see. I'm really not I'm not in the upper skill level as far as animators or artists go. Like I have my pluck and I have my charms maybe, but certainly not like. Certainly not that I wouldn't say that those streams are premium content. Like maybe sometimes for the first hour or two, like if I'm feeling good, if I had a good night's sleep and someone's in there to banter with me, you know, we can be pretty amusing for, you know, like 1 or 2 hours. But it's tough to keep up that energy and also to work and also be funny at the same time, because you get a little engrossed in your work and you lose track of time. Like every now and then I'll look up and I'll be like, oh man, has it really been 3 hours already? I'm just like, whoa, zoned out. So yeah, you get into that. You kind of get onto autopilot. You know, you just start working on like your tweens or something like that, and you can do tweens on autopilot, or sort of anyway. And you know, you lose track of time. You're not really interacting too much. So they're very long. They're really not very exciting. They're not scripted. There's not anything going on. You know, so of course it's premium content to YouTube. YouTube loves it to death. It's been weird. So I've been keeping an eye on the analytics, because the thing is, I've started doing these streams, and I have a suspicion that they might have the same effect that the Fallout Let's Plays did, where the Fallout Let's Plays were just miraculously increasing viewership on my YouTube channel. I don't know yet, because the trouble with the streams is I've been unlisting them because I don't want people to come to the channel and go look at my videos and just see like a stream every single day. Because the streams aren't my core content. They're not the content that I really want people to see. The streams are just a thing that I do every day, and that I've been doing every day for like 2 years, that I would do regardless, no matter what. It's just that I did them on another platform previously. So the mentality here is that no matter what, I am going to stream. Like, it helps keep me on schedule. Like, I have this time, I get on and I do this work, and people watch me and they interact, they see what's going on. And I stick to this schedule. You know, as long as I say to myself, I'm gonna stream from 1 to 6, then like I get on there 1 to 6. Well, it's more like 1:30 to 6. I usually get on there 1:30, so I have enough time for like lunch and everything. But anyway, so 1:30 to 6, bare minimum, and I stick to it, and I do it every single day. It keeps me honest, keeps me, you know, on a schedule, and I'm not gonna stop doing it no matter what. But if I continue doing it on YouTube, there's a chance it might make my whole channel perform better, just because I'm doing repetitive, derivative, oh shoot, what was the last one? Oh, and long content, even if it's totally boring and there's not really any reason for most people to watch it. It's what YouTube wants. It's what YouTube wants. They want to be a boring, repetitive, derivative platform, where nothing new happens and you see only the same stuff. You know, except for the rare occasion when somebody gets big because they get promoted off-site. Like I say, this is the one thing. This is the one exception. If somebody gets promoted off-site, if they get big off of YouTube, then YouTube will continue to promote them. But until that happens, you have to be derivative, repetitive, and long. So, yeah, we've been a little bit worried, because the thing about repetitive, derivative, and long content is that it's terrible. And there's really no reason logically why this would attract people to your channel. Like, it's not the type of thing that people would naturally seek out and say, like, yeah, like, I want to watch a guy tween a pony for 6 hours. Like, most people don't say that to themselves. Like, most people would say, I want to see the animation this guy does when it's completed. They don't come in and be like, yeah, no, I love this. Like, look at this pony get tweened. Like, oh, look at that. Is that going to be a complex animation? No, that's just a hoof wave. Well, whatever, maybe the next animation is going to be complicated. Maybe the rainbow beam is going to shoot out of the pony's eye. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, It's not like we're concerned. Yeah, we're concerned that maybe it's going to turn people off and we might lose subscribers. So I've been trying to keep track of the analytics and see whether or not it's increasing subscribers or decreasing subscribers or increasing views or decreasing views. And so far, I can't tell that it's done anything. I believe, as far as I remember, it took a week or so for the Fallout Let's Plays to increase. It took a week or two of posting the Fallout things for all my metrics to increase, and then I quit and they all went back down. So we'll have to do it, you know, I'll do these streams for like a week or two and see what happens. But one of the reasons I'm doing this video is because given everything that I've just told you guys, I mean, I want to hear, like, do you guys, are you guys getting spammed with notifications? This is the other thing, subscribers have gotten really weird, where YouTube no longer really respects or values subscribers or the idea of subscribing. At this point, they don't use the front page to show you stuff that you've signed up to see. What they do is they try to show you things that they think you want to see, which is derivative, long, repetitive content. And that means that I suppose that for a lot of you, you're not going to be spammed by me no matter what, because YouTube no longer really sends you notifications if you're subscribed. And in fact, even more infuriating, we recently did that episode of Rainbow Dash Presents, and as before we posted, like, we were hyping it up, and people got excited, and we started to see a rise in subscribers. And then when we aired the thing, we did the big stream, and we aired the thing, we got a whole bunch more subscribers. And by the end of it all, we had 3,000 new subscribers, and like a huge influx of views for that month. And what YouTube then did is, I guess their automated systems looked at this, and they said, like, oh, this is way off base for this channel's average. And they deleted all 3,000 subscribers. It was so heartbreaking. Like, I was like, oh, boom, man, look at that, like 170,000 people, awesome. And then at the end of the month, it adjusted and it just deleted everybody. Like, it just took all those subscribers and just deleted them all. And so you look at it, and what it then shows is that my subscriber count increases at exactly the same rate that it was already moving. As though we never posted Rainbow Dash Presents. We don't actually see it. It used to be that you would get a dramatic rise in subscribers whenever you posted something big. They just deleted them all. So we didn't get a dramatic rise in subscribers. We didn't get a dramatic anything. It just deleted them all. It was like, this is probably botting. Deleted everybody. Deleted all the new subscribers. Heartbreaking. Frustrating. I hate this system. I hate the way the YouTube system works. It feels like they're constantly working against me, like they really don't have my interests at heart. They really don't want to see me do new content. They really don't want to see me do good content. They really don't want to, like, they just want me to be another, you know, they want everyone to be PewDiePie. And maybe not doing gameplay videos, because I don't think I see those getting quite as big anymore. But content that is equally mind-numbing. You know, like they just want that really mind-numbing thing. And I believe that the reason we think this is because they've got everything on their server farms, you know. And so they're trying to save as much bandwidth as possible. And so kind of like things that don't get used, they get shunted off to servers that aren't being accessed very often. So they can kind of, like they have a system that'll shut off those servers, and every time you kind of need them, they'll come out of their little hibernation, and they'll run the server and they'll deliver your content. So they're trying to just get like long content. They want you to be sitting and watching a long video because that means they don't have to check any other servers. They can leave content in deep freeze, and they don't want to promote like unoriginal stuff. Like if something has these particular keywords, they'll move it over to the more active servers, and then they'll be more likely to promote it. Whereas if it's a completely unheard of thing, then they'll just leave it, you know, they'll let it be unheard of, and they'll just leave it sitting, you know, off in a frozen server someplace. So yeah, so we think that this whole scheme that they're doing, we believe that it probably saves them money, and it must work with their system. Like, it's really not good for viewers, it's not good for YouTube content creators, but it does work for them as far as saving money. So we figure this is where they're at and this is what they're doing. And so these streams are the same way. It's like we're just streaming, and if you guys sit here and you watch this stream for like, you know, all 6 hours, then that means you're not running around accessing other random videos on the site. You're not clicking on some unheard of guy who's making the next salad fingers or whatever. You know, the next salad fingers. Like, who wants to hear about that? That goes in the deep freeze. We're never going to promote that. You want to watch the 6 hours of this guy animating a pony. So, yeah. Like I say, as far as in terms of like coming to the stream, we have a bunch of people that are in there. We work on Discord now. We have a Discord channel. We sometimes throw the link up in the stream. The people who are there most regularly There's me, of course, and then Chicken. We've been hanging out in the Chicken zone, where Chicken is the moderator. Chicken actually doesn't work with the channel. Chicken is just a guy who's been to the streams a long time, but he's been helpful in some of the things that we do, and he amuses us at times. Sometimes also he's very loud, which is less amusing. I mean, it can be amusing like once, but then if he keeps doing it, it becomes less amusing. I don't know. You'll see Chicken. Chicken is very chickeny. He's a good description of Chicken. He's quite chickeny. I don't know. Not like he. Yeah. I mean, like we're in the Chicken zone. We discuss things. Chicken is chicken. Nif is often there, usually kind of towards the earlier parts of the stream. He's off in Europe, so he gets sleepy and he goes to bed as the streams go on. But Nif is a moderator. He can post links. I guess he can also ban people, but that doesn't come up very often. Nif is also not really part of the Don Somewhere team. Nif is just another stream regular that we've seen a lot, and we know the guy. So, Nif has some mod powers, just as Chicken has mod powers. PBN is actually the guy who animates Jim of the Romantic Journey. He also goes by Norman Rengel on the channel. That's the username that he uses and the YouTube account that he goes on, but we call him PBN because he's also known as PBN. PBN's done a couple of different things, but he'll hang out and he'll interact with the chat and ask you guys questions. Isu is there sometimes. She's done some voice acting for us. She is the voice of, what's her name? Alexis. She's the voice of Alexis. She's done a little bit of concept work for us. She's an artist, but it's mostly, more often than not, it's not safe for work art. So if you went to go look her up, it's like Isu Roma. She does the lewds. Who else is frequently there? We get some of the guys who actually do work with the team, like Lord Maxon as a voice actor. He comes in and he talks with us sometimes. Pencils from the Marble Pie comics is often there. He hangs out, and sometimes people ask Pencils questions while he's in our streams. Pencils also has his own stream. He's still streaming on Picardo. People asked him, they said they preferred a stream on Picardo. Nova King comes on. Nova King's an animator. He works with us. Trying to think of who else shows up. And I don't know, other times we just pull people in, we just chat with them sometimes to make things interesting. Yeah. But anyway, though, that's the situation. That's the situation with YouTube. That's the situation with the stream. I would do the stream no matter what. So if I keep the stream, I mean, like if everybody is fine with the stream being on YouTube, then I'll just keep doing it on YouTube. If everybody hates it, then I guess I could go back to Picardo. YouTube, in my opinion, seems to be better, at least from a technical perspective. If it promotes the channel, it's better for the channel. It does make it, like I said, oddly enough, because the YouTube stream is long. Like I was looking at the income, and we really make nothing in ad revenue. Like YouTube does not care about us as far as our ad revenue goes. But like the YouTube stream makes like $5 every day, and that's more than any other video that we do right now. Like any other video will produce less than $5 a day. So that I mean, if that gives you an idea, and that's before everybody takes their cut. Realistically, we're probably only making like, I don't know, $60 in a month. If I stream every day on YouTube, it's worth like $60. So there's not a huge financial incentive. So before you guys would be like, this is a big sellout move. Truthfully, I guess all it gets me is like, if I wanted to buy a new stick of RAM every month, I guess that would be about $60. There would be. I mean, I have to pay taxes on it. Taxes is like 30% when you're self-employed, so it's even less. But point is, it's really not worth that much money. We don't have to keep going on YouTube. And if it turns out that people are bothered by it and we start losing subscribers and viewers because of it, we can move it off of YouTube, and then you won't be spammed with the subscribers anymore. But if you do like it, though, like I say, let me know. Do you like the stream? Do you hate the stream? Is it bothering you? Is it not? Are you going to unsubscribe from the channel because you're sick of the streams? If you do like the streams, I've been putting them in a playlist, and so you can actually just go watch the streams anytime you want. It's called Production Stream. And otherwise, like I say, I'm always going to do the streams every day. I'm going to do them somewhere. If not on YouTube, then somewhere else. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll take it into consideration, and I'm going to continue. Regardless, I'm going to continue to stream for a little while and see how it impacts the channel. If it's for the good, then maybe we'll keep it on there. If it's for the worse, then we'll remove it. But yeah. So anyway, though, I suppose that'll be it for today. So thanks for joining us, everybody. I will catch you all next time.